Hey guys, I hope all is well. Thank you for joining me for this Truth Talk episode. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about Xxxtentacion's mother confirming her son was into the occult. But before we begin, I just wanted to let my Patreons know a new video is dropping by December 3rd on Patreon. I am working on 2 videos that would be dropping on Patreon next month. One on the adult film industry and another on a recent situation that happened in Hollywood where one of the biggest Hollywood agents' son was caught getting rid of people. So if you're a Patreon member, you can expect those videos soon. Also, I wanted to ask you guys to please follow me on all platforms. Some of you guys have been complaining about being unsubbed from my channel or not getting notifications for upcoming videos. If you guys follow me on these other platforms, you guys will see notifications from upcoming videos and also clips from videos that I recently posted. So please make sure you guys follow me on these other platforms. The link would be in the description. Thank you all. Now let's get right into it. About a month ago now, I made a 28-minute long video on Xxxtentacion where I once and for all revealed the truth about his life and career. I believe this is one of the most important videos to watch on my channel now, as this shows us how far these artists are willing to go for fame. The amount of undeniable proof in this video will wake anybody up, or at least I hope so. In that video, I made it clear that not only was X an occultist, but I even played a jail call between X and his friend, where X could be heard listening to instructions to summon a demon called Xxxtentacion. After watching that video, you have to be ignorant not to see the truth about X. X appears to have sold his soul to have the world and paid the ultimate price for that decision. Well, I already felt that I have provided more than enough evidence to prove X was an occultist who sold his soul. What his mother recently revealed in an interview can't be ignored. After X passed away, his mother Cleopatra took over his estate and music career. She is the one making all the decisions alongside Empire Records when it comes to X music. She is also the one who makes all the money X music makes. Recently, after I made my video on X, Cleo decided to do an interview with an Instagram occultist. In that interview, not only did she confirm everything I said about her son, but she revealed some very interesting information. Cleo herself admits her son was into the occult, and she admitted this proudly. Not only did she admit her son was in the occult, but she admits that her herself has gotten into the occult because of her son. The first part of the interview that got my attention was literally at the start of it. The interviewer asked Cleo if her son was interested in the occult, and Cleo replies, yes, he is.
Who are you?
I am the mother of Xxxtentacion.
A famous 33 life path. And he is the one who puts you in this beautiful home, correct?
Absolutely.
Your son had a great love for the occult, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
Did he ever mention numerology, astrology, tarot to you?
He did, all the time.
Tell us how those conversations went.
It didn't go too well because I was raised in a Christian home, and it was just not something that I was interested in, so I was always dismissive. He believed that everything is written in the stars and, you know, all that stuff, and had a lot of books on it.
And what years are we talking about here?
16, 17, on up.
Okay, and you weren't trying to hear any of it?
I wasn't trying to hear any of it. I didn't start getting into that stuff until after he passed away.
Is that when you regrets that you should have listened to him a little bit more?
100%.
And that's what you got me over here for now.
As you heard for yourself out of the mouth of X's mother, Xxxtentacion was indeed an occultist. But more importantly, she confirmed something I said in my X breakdown when the interviewer asked Cleo, when did her son get into the occult? And she replied around 16 or 17 years old. Now, if you watch my X breakdown, you would already know that when X was 16 or 17, he met the adult film star Bruno. X hit up Bruno to be a part of one of his films, which ended up happening. X then ended up moving in with Bruno for some time, and Bruno even managed X early in his career. Bruno was the one who introduced X into the occult. He was the one with a giant portrait of Baphomet at his house, calling himself Baphomet.
Smart question, because most people don't even ask, they assume, is it metaphorical? You know what? You're the first one to hit it on the dot. Thank you. That right there is a metaphor for myself. That's me. I am the fucking Baphomet. Am I the devil? Nah.
He was also into Thelema and Aleister Crowley just like X, the same man who was accused by many of his co-workers of doing sacrifice rituals with the girls he shot scenes with.
He started, the guy that had the model house, he was a male talent too. I actually can't stand him. His name's Bruno. He does some satanic shit now with the girls.
That's on Ruby Less, right?
Yeah, you know him?
Yeah.
Okay, well.
Well, like, I met him once, like, in clubs and stuff.
He's a known ground. He sacrifices girls' soul and he f***s them on top of his bed. Because he has, like, the gates of hell pentagon drawn underneath his bed. And he sacrifices girls' soul on top of the bed when he f***s them. So, let the world know that, because that is some real demonic shit. That's not cool. And that revolves around Xxxtentacion too, because
that whole scene and stuff is like, you know,
Xxx does the same thing.
for real.
Cleo confirmed that X got into this stuff after meeting Bruno, so Bruno was the man who initiated X. Cleo also states that she was not into that kind of stuff when X brought it up to her. She claims that she just dismissed it because she was a Christian woman and didn't believe in that. Now she claims she regrets doing that and wishes she was participating in the occult with her son. Literally, we can't make this up. She saw her son pass away because of getting into the occult, and then she regrets not doing it herself. This is what the industry does to people. It corrupts their souls. Cleo admits she abandoned her previous religious beliefs and is now focused on occult knowledge. Before they released this interview, the man interviewing Cleo posted a video of her showing the books X had in his library. We can see some very interesting titles that she revealed.
Influenced by numerology and astrology himself in the occult, correct?
Correct.
Go ahead.
These are some of his books, just so you have an idea of where his mind was and the things that he found interesting.
So he was definitely into the occult, numerology, and astrology.
Everything. And there's more here. Magic of Believing and 48 Laws of Power, mythology, magic, everything you can.
Very nice.
Is here. The astrology.
And where's the book that he gave
Power
you?
of the 8. I'm looking for it.
And the reason that's important is because she's an 8 life path in numerology. Your son knew that. That's why he gave you that book.
Yeah. Where is it? Where is it? It's in my room. But look, birthdays, secret language of birthdays.
Yep.
Look, the cosmos, like he was into all
So again, this is no doubt that one of the greatest young minds in music history was influenced by numerology and astrology himself in the occult, correct?
Correct.
This is his mother telling you this.
As you saw for yourself, X-Mom again confirmed her son was an occultist, but also showed this collection of occult and witchcraft books. All of these books show that X was heavily into occult practice. Specifically this book, the Book of Thoth alone reveals so much about X and what he was into. The Book of Thoth was written by Lady Frida Harris on instructions of Aleister Crowley. We know X was fully devoted to Crowley's teachings, and he spread those teachings to his fans. We also see a book on alchemy on the shelf, an ancient form of witchcraft that much of the occult is built on. Alchemists believe that they not only can turn lead into gold using alchemy, but also using what they call the Philosopher's Stone, they can live forever. If you saw my video on the dark truth about the Harry Potter movies, then you should know the movie The Sorcerer's Stone is all about the Philosopher's Stone. X was studying alchemy and witchcraft, all these books of magic and rituals. This is the demonic energy he was feeding his audience. These books of spells and the occult is what X was reading and putting into his music. This was the imagery he was using in his music videos, and it's the reason so many of his fans thought he was larger than life. He was using witchcraft and occult magic to get what he wanted. This is the reason he paid the ultimate price for his fame. His mother is revealing this and is telling us she is now into the occult herself. In another part of the interview, Cleo starts to talk about X believing he was reincarnated. She claims that she believed his energy would never die and he would return through her.
in this realm. It's on my Instagram right now.
He said that.
He said, I'm back in this realm. And he talked about, being in the school and being in the system and stuff like that.
Did he talk about past lives quite often?
Not quite often, but he does believe that. He believes in it,
Okay.
sure. He believes that energy cannot be destroyed. So even if he passes away, that he will return. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that he told me that kind of stick with me is that he said, when I die, I'm going to come back through you. I'm going to always choose you.
He's going to come back through you. What do you mean?
He said he picked me to be his mother in this lifetime, and he will always pick me in every lifetime.
As you heard for yourself, Cleo claims X believe he would return. This is something many occultists teach and believe in. They believe that they always come back through a new person. While I don't necessarily believe in that, I am interested in understanding what these occultists think when it comes to this. I think I should make a full video on this. If this is something you want to see, comment reincarnation below. In another part of the interview, Cleo talks about X knowing he wouldn't live past 21 years old. She claims that X would always tell her he wasn't going to make it past that age and was actually expecting to pass away.
Yeah.
Your son's a martyr. Mm-hmm. Do you believe that?
I believe that.
Did he tell you that he was going to be a martyr?
No. But he said, you're going to see how genius I am when I passed away.
Do you think he expected to pass
Oh,
away?
yeah. We talked about that all the time. Talked about it all the time. He told me that he wasn't going to make it at 21. Me and plenty other people all the time.
Stop.
Yeah.
He told you a number of times he wasn't going to make it
to 21.
Was he joking? Was he serious when he said that? I said stuff like that too.
He's always serious, and that would piss me off. So I'm like, why are you saying that? Like, you're literally putting that out. He's just like, I'm not just saying it, I know. Always say that.
And he's been very confident when he said that.
He would always.
And that's exactly what happened.
And that's exactly what happened. That nobody knows. The day before he died, that night, he went to Walmart by himself and bought a of white candles. Left them in the house by the fireplace. Those were the candles that we ended up using, kind of like visual.
He bought a whole bunch of candles.
White candles.
Before he died.
The night he bought it that night, he died one day. That had me like thinking, like, was he threatened, or he knows something that I didn't know, or he didn't want to tell me because he didn't want to scare me. It was weird because
He gave me the birthday he died, and say it again.
June 18th.
2018. I looked at that day, and based off the Illuminati, Babylonian, the New World Order, whatever you want to call it, that's not usually the day they take people out.
So he was not a industry sacrifice?
I personally do not believe he was an industry sacrifice.
Okay.
I look at, when people like Michael Jackson, people, get taken out, and they usually have certain type of numbers around them, type of master numbers. I need that here. What I do see is a lot of martyr energy in that day.
As you heard for yourself, Cleo claims that X told her he wouldn't live past 21. She also stated that the day before he passed away, he went and bought a bunch of white candles and left it in a room. She also states that they then used those candles for his candlelight visual. Cleo is admitting that X knew he was going to pass away before it happened. Cleo also stated that he wanted his nails painted black the day before he passed. The interviewer then referred to the Mason's duality as a possible explanation as to the reason why he bought white candles and wanted his nails painted black, claiming that in gematria, black and white both represent the number 11. Everything about X had to do with duality. It's the reason why he had 2 different hair colors when he first came out. It's also the reason why he would do so many violent, disturbing things, then go on to tell the kids how to be a good person. He was reading into duality within all those occult books, and it was showing through his character. Something else the interviewer said that was interesting was that X was not an industry sacrifice based on the numbers. Like I said in my last video, I believe X passing is related to the deal he made with Hecate while in prison. Hecate is an ancient pagan deity who is known for destroying all who summon her. While she did free X from jail and gave him all the world can offer, she wanted souls in return, and when X couldn't keep up his side of the deal, she came to collect. This is why he always appears so depressed. He knew his time was coming. In another part of the interview, X-Mom claims that even his hairstyle had an important occult meaning, something I've always known myself.
What did you notice that was different about him? He was more of a leader?
First of all, he had a half and half hair. That's when he was a tyrant, right? And he said the hair represent light and dark.
Okay.
Then he led into the white hair. That's him like now shedding his old ways and coming into, all right, I have a responsibility to these kids. And blue hair is when he's arrived. You literally saw the changes.
Did you see a personality change?
Oh yeah, 100%. He got calm. If you watch majority of his performances, he was all in the kids like you guys are superstars. You guys are all gods. He would always he was the only person that I've seen in that at the time. I see other people copying it now, but...
As you heard for yourself, Cleo states that the evolution of X's hair represents his occult transformation. When he had the 2-color hair, it was all about duality. He was good and evil. Then when he changed his hair to white, he was going through a transformation. And once he made his hair all blue, he was fully transformed. Cleo is letting us know that her son was going through an occult rebirth. In another part of the interview, Cleo claims that she believed X was trying to communicate with her after his passing.
You started getting into numerology.
Yeah. I started like trying to figure him out and to see if there's a way that I can contact him. Like, it's weird. I started seeing all these spirit boxes on YouTube and people. One of them I actually heard voice. It sounded like his voice. I don't know if they're playing or who did it.
I'd be very careful with gypsies.
Yeah, no. I mean, I haven't reached out to anyone, but I just was like listening to that type of stuff and.
You're in grief, you didn't know what to do. You're listening to crazy ideas, right?
Yeah, but he also was giving me like crazy signs like a week after he passed away, and I wasn't able to see him for a whole week because his head was swollen, right? And that they can't let me see him like that.
What?
Yeah, his head was swollen. They wouldn't let me see him. So a week later, when I finally went to see him, I think his spirit followed me home or something because I smelt. So what they did, how they embalmed him, or did something where they able to put him in a wall and it rots, right? You dehydrate, but you don't rot. So if we should pull him out right now, he would have everything intact. But whatever process they use, whatever chemicals, I smelt it the whole day in the house. Then a few days later, he turned the light off on me in his room, in his bed, and the lights start dimming until it turns off. And I sat up like a zombie, like, what just happened? 'Cause I got scared for a minute, I was gonna run, and then I'm like, it's him trying to, you know, and then it came back on and slowly went back to where it was. You know, it's like,
Have you
how?
had any other experiences like that?
I've had a heart in the sky that's on Instagram. Heart in the sky.
What about on his birthdays? Did you make any type of messages on his birthday?
Nothing on the birthday, but on the
or
death
the
day.
On the death day.
Death day. I have the video I can show you right now on my phone. June 18th, exactly a year, he passed away. I had a double rainbow outside, and it landed on my house. Usually you can go to the back of the house and see where the end is. It was on top of my house, double rainbow.
Any doubt that's him?
Of course, 100% that's him. 100%. And I also felt him sit on my bed one night when I was sleeping. I felt the bed just like, you know when someone sit on a bed? I felt that. And then I also have a video on my phone. A friend of mine bought me one of those bears, the Build-A-Bear, and she put a voice box in the bear. It says, I love my mom to death. She's at my eye, because he did an interview where he sat, right? So she pulled that part and she put it there. And one day I was massaging the room, and you have to squeeze it, by the way, for it to talk. Bear starts talking on his own. And I was able to capture that on my phone.
He's definitely sending you messages.
He's sending me messages.
As you heard for yourself, she claims that she believes X tried to communicate with her in many different ways. While she might have been contacted by some spirit, unless X is now a demon, it wasn't her son. When a person passes away, they don't become a ghost. In the Bible, it specifically states spirits that people are communicating with are not past relatives, but demonic spirits. This is what has been contacting her, demonic spirits who are attached to her son. Her son was praising Hecate, and that deity is nothing but trouble. I believe that these spirits are now luring Cleo in order to use her like they use X. These demonic spirits know how influential X was and how many people they have managed to guide away from God using him. In another part of the interview, she is asked if she believes her son planned all of this, and Cleo responded with a yes.
Messages.
Knowing what you know about your son, this is his whole plan from the very beginning.
100%.
He wanted to get
100%.
martyred. He wanted, because I looked at the day he died. June 18th, and throughout history. And there's a history of revolutions, one in Egypt that happened on that day, not the same year. And so I'm thinking that if he knew that he could tap into that energy, maybe that's the day he chose to go, because he would know that his energy would be connected with revolutionary energy.
Yeah.
Does that make sense to you?
It makes sense, 100%. There's a song on the last album that he actually curated. It's called Train Food. You need to listen to that song. He basically describes the day he dies.
As you heard for yourself, Cleo herself admits this was all a part of X's plan from the beginning to end. This is what was going to happen as X made a deal for his fame. Now, after seeing this interview, I am confident X knew his time was coming. He knew the price of the deal with Hecate. X sold his soul and did all he did for temporary fame. It's important that people with the power that X had realize not to use it for fame and money. X was indeed special. He was one of the very few people alive nowadays that understands there's more than what the eyes can see. He understands our world is powered by the spiritual realm. He tapped into that spiritual realm and ended up striking a deal with a Baphomet like he said himself. Don't watch this video or my last video thinking I'm judging X or talking down on him. I am not. I truly feel bad for X. I understand why he did what he did, but I don't agree with it. X just wanted to be a rap star like many other kids, and sadly, the devil has made it so you can only make it in the industry if you trade your soul for that shot. So please don't think I make these videos to judge. I love everyone God created, including those that steer away. I wish they would wake up and make their ways back to God and save themselves. But I feel I have a responsibility, as God has gifted me with the ability to understand and ask the right questions. He is the one who is guiding me to find all this information. He is the one who helps me understand it all. With that ability, I feel that it's my responsibility to help those who can't see the truth find the truth. Sadly, this is the truth about Xxxtentacion. I wish I can talk to X's mom and warn her about the path she is trying to take. Men like the one that was interviewing her are consumed by the occult, and she should stay far away from him. She needs to burn all those books X left behind and return to God with a heart full of remorse. Cleo, you already lost your son to the occult, which I feel so bad about. Please don't take the same path as him. I know you just want to understand your son and what he was up to, but I am advising you with care. Leave it alone and turn to God. Pray for yourself and for X that he finds peace. If you haven't seen my last video on X, make sure you go check it out and share it with as many people as you can. We never get this much proof when it comes to artists and the occult. Well, that's it for this video. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.